Good afternoon everyone, this is Chris Ensor at Richmond Farm. Just thought I'd hopefully it'll work to get a two-part video here. I came over to look at some pasture recoveries, but I thought I'd show you this. This is what what we find when we've had an automated move where we're using the batt latch and the sheep are putting the cells through. We're about 15 minutes, just over 15 minutes after they've moved. See how there's a few lambs that are left. Often you have to come and push them through, or they do find their way over time, but there's the batt latch here. Little setup. And yeah, they've put them all through, so I didn't have to be here, which is really handy, particularly when you're busy, but the lambs are still a bit young, and you can see those are probably, a lot of them are often the late lambs, I've noticed. They haven't put themselves through because they've joined the rotation a bit late. But yeah, anyway, stock are definitely, there's a few of the lambs are looking reasonable, but young stock are definitely behind what we'd like them to be. And that's just due to such a cold spring, really poor growth, and the ewes reducing milk, a few weeks in. I think they've picked up again, but the lambs are sort of, it hasn't really worked. The lambs are sort of they went pretty hard, went backward, and they're just starting to come on with the pasture coming on. You can see they don't really graze this part, but they've just gone through. It's not just because we're here, they just don't like it because they run over it. Amelia, can you wait a sec? Yeah. Anyway, that'll be it for now. We'll finish this over there. Okay, so hopefully this has worked. This is the second half of the video. Basically, what happened was around 20 days ago when this mob were here last, that batt latch it released, but it got caught, the spring got caught up, the triple spring, one of the springs got caught up, and so it didn't shut. Anyway, what ended up happening, Amelia, can you just not touch that for a second? What ended up happening was this was hard, severely grazed, too hard, particularly with ewes and lambs. But the interesting thing is the recovery. So they were in there twice as long as they should have been, and probably half as long as I wanted them to be on this side. So this ended up being about a top third to top half graze, whereas this was a complete total graze. What we ended up with, and I've just done a bit of a plate meter on it, that's why I'm asking Amelia to leave this. Oh, she's gone and adjusted it. But anyway, that one there was 2,530. The one on the right, the one that was hard grazed. You can use it now, Amelia, you can use it now. Whereas this side here was 2,280. So about 250 kilograms more dry matter on that side, and you can just visibly see it on this side of this line, which is straight down through there past those couple of naughty sheep. And you just have to look at the feed to see. I mean, it's recovered better than that other lot. There's more quality feed in here. There's less in the way of the poas, the brown tops, a lot more cocksfoot, and the clovers as well, cocksfoot and others, but the clovers in here are mainly perennial clovers, red clover, white clover, and there's a bit of plantain there. Yeah, so the feed is pretty awesome, really. And you can see this is probably not as a result of the grazing, but just being there longer. There's a lot more dark green from the urine and poo patches. So yeah, the manure and the urine has really helped it fire away like that. But then there's the line about here somewhere, straight in behind that lamb. You can see the line. Sorry about the sun. Yeah, so basically, to the left of that line, it just completely changes. If you look here, quite a lot shorter, a lot more sub-clover, which Roger Beattie came out the other day and he noticed that. I hadn't actually noticed that. A lot more sub, but far less perennial clover. Maybe a little more in the way of plantain, but the plantain's all headed out, whereas on that other side it hadn't. Yeah, it's just, and look at the difference in depth of feed, quality of feed. It's just a lot more of this fine-leaved plants, a bit more goose grass I saw, and there's a bit of brown top just starting to head up here. So it's really, I don't know if it's just that, I don't know if it's just the grazing or what it is, but something's really, maybe it was even the shock of being super grazed. You can keep going, Amelia. Oh, it's pulled to bits. Anyway, she's pulled the plate meter to bits. So yeah, anyway, this is dragging on a bit now, but I'm just amazed. I mean, this patch here we're in is a little bit better, but in the whole scheme of it, there's a lot more of these lower patches, a lot less dense. You could argue maybe that it's because we're a bit closer to the hedge, but there's a pretty distinct line. The hedges where obviously they shade between grazes. But anyway, that's about that for today. But pretty interesting stuff.